let me be one of the first people to formally say, welcome to the Big Ten, Washington Huskies, and Oregon Ducks. Yes, that's right. College football conference realignment isn't slowing down because on August 4th, 2023, the Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks are headed for the Big Ten. And as a Big Ten fan myself, specifically Penn State, I can't wait for these two teams to join the conference. Ever since the idea of Washington and Oregon joining the Big Ten started floating around, I began to get super excited about it because, sure, Washington and Oregon aren't the powerhouses like Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, and some of those other teams. But Washington and Oregon can certainly hold their own against some of those opponents. Yes, I know Oregon got destroyed against Georgia last year. But overall, I would say Oregon and Washington can hold their own. Heck, Oregon went into Columbus last year and beat the Ohio State Buckeyes. Yeah, I know. Or no, that wasn't last year. That was 2 years ago. Whatever. In any event, Oregon went on the road to Columbus, Ohio, and beat the Ohio State Buckeyes in the horseshoe. That's a big deal. And Washington's been coming on strong with their college football lately. So the fact that the Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks are coming to the Big Ten, I can't wait. Think about some of the matchups we're going to get. We're going to get Washington against USC, Washington against Michigan, Washington against Michigan State, Washington against Minnesota, Washington against Purdue, Washington against Wisconsin, Washington against Ohio State, Washington against Penn State. And for Oregon, we're going to get Oregon against UCLA, Oregon against USC, Oregon against Michigan State, Oregon against Michigan, Oregon against Purdue, Oregon against Ohio State, Oregon against Penn State. All of those matchups sound fantastic. I really cannot express how excited I am for the Oregon Ducks and Washington Huskies to be joining the Big Ten. It is amazing. Well, I said it once and I'll say it again. Welcome to the Big Ten, Washington and Oregon. We are happy to have you here. Think about what this means. With the additions of both USC and UCLA, the Big Ten added Los Angeles and Southern California. Now, with the additions of Oregon and Washington, the Big Ten is adding the Pacific Northwest. That is gigantic. And of course, I guarantee the SEC is going to counter and add somebody. My guess is Florida State, and they might add Clemson too. I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson follows Florida State and joins the SEC. In fact, I think Clemson, Florida State, and Miami are all going to join the SEC. As for some of the other teams like Virginia, Virginia Tech, North Carolina State, Wake Forest, Duke, I'm not sure what they're going to do. I could see them joining the Big Ten possibly. Maybe some of them join the Big 12. I'm not sure. Speaking of the Big 12, it seems like it's a formality at this point. The Arizona Wildcats are also leaving the Pac-12 to join the Big 12. So, think about that. Colorado joined the Big 12, and now Arizona is joining the Big 12. It seems like it's a matter of time before the Pac-12 just completely implodes. What that means for Oregon State, Washington State, Cal, Stanford, Utah, Arizona State, I have no idea. I could see Arizona State and Utah following in the footsteps of Colorado and Arizona and joining the Big 12. Personally, I would love to see Utah join the Big Ten, but if they end up joining the Big 12, so be it. You know, it seems like we're heading towards two super conferences, maybe three, if the Big 12 can actually hang around, which it seems like they're going to, because they added BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF, and now they're adding Colorado and Arizona. But again, the big news is that the Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks are joining the Big Ten. Again, I said this earlier, but think about some of these matchups that we're going to get. Washington against Michigan, Washington against Wisconsin, Washington against Penn State, Washington against Ohio State, Oregon against Ohio State, Oregon against Penn State, Oregon against Wisconsin, Oregon against Purdue, Oregon against Michigan. I could go on and on and on. I am super excited that the Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks are headed for the Big Ten. So again, let me be one of the first ones to say, welcome to the Big Ten, Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks. We are so happy to have you here.